Hi, my name is Myron Peters, and I am one of the counselors here at Family Service Saskatoon. Today, I will be giving a very brief presentation on understanding grief. So, to begin, let's take a really quick true or false quiz. First, the grief process averages about 6 months. This is false. While there are many variables to this process, such as the manner of your loved one's death, anticipatory grief, life factors, and family politics, etc., the research indicates the average time to a grief is no longer calling all of your life's shots to be between 2 and 5 years. Second, there are definite stages that we all go through in our grief. This is something of a trick question. While there can clearly be stages for some forms of grief, such as denial or anger or bargaining, just because you're grieving does not automatically mean you will move through clearly defined steps and stages. Nor does it mean that you can't go backwards from time to time or jump a step from time to time. Just as life can be messy and not clearly defined, so grief can also be messy and not clearly defined. So the answer to this one is false. Sometimes. Third, most kinds of death are grieved the same. This is false. Just as no two relationships are the same, so too, no two grief processes will be exactly the same. There are many factors that influence how you grieve the loss of your loved one, and so, while there will likely be similarities between, for example, how you grieve one grandmother's death to how you grieve a second grandmother's death, each experience will be unique. Fourth, you will never completely stop grieving. This is true. While you will likely get to the point where grief does not control all aspects of your life, a couple of years or so following the death of your loved one, you will likely never completely stop missing them, shedding tears on the anniversary of their death, or honoring them at family gatherings. So let's look at some definitions here. First, grief is a natural and healthy reaction to loss. Many cultures around the world accept death as a natural part of the life cycle and honor it just as they would honor other milestones in a person's life. And so if death is a natural process, so is grief. It is not only important, but healthy to feel the pain of your loved one's death. Embrace that loss. Listen to what it has to tell you. Honor your love for the person who has died. Your grief is based on your unique perspective of the loss. It is not necessary for others to recognize the loss for you to grieve. As already mentioned, every grief experience is unique. If it hurts you, full stop. And at times, your loss will not or cannot be validated or accepted by your support circles. This does not invalidate your loss or make it less painful to process. So, what are some of the purposes of grief and mourning? First, it's to express your feelings about the loss. While there's definitely a balance between always talking about your feelings and never talking about your grief, it is important to express how it makes you feel. Another purpose is to express your hurt at the loss. Expressing your hurt can help you change the relationship you have with that hurt. Another purpose is to express the effects you experience from the loss. Talking about how the loss has impacted and affected your life on a day-to-day basis is important in making sense of the whole process. And finally, adapting to your new life. Developing a new relationship with the deceased. You would never need to forget your lost loved one. While it may sound a little odd that you need to develop a new relationship with someone who has died, it is important to stay connected to their memory. While this new relationship will likely be more one-sided, continuing to remember them is important for the grief process. This can happen once you have a clear and realistic image of the deceased with both positive and negative aspects, as well as appropriate emotions. Just as no person has only negative qualities, also, no person has only positive qualities. Remembering your loved one's strengths and weaknesses helps you adapt to your new life when they are gone. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this brief presentation on how to make sense of your loved one's death. If you would like to connect with a counselor to discuss your losses, please call 306-244-0127 and ask to speak to Intake. Thank you.